Hey, this is American Lonsdale fan. Haven't made a video in a while, and I was out in the garage. I was doing my wife a favor. She wanted all her jewelry cleaned that was sitting there in a jewelry box, and some of it had gotten a little tarnished. And so I went ahead and polished everything up, and wanted to do a quick video on a knife that has been sitting in my back pocket for a while, and it is the Emerson. And this particular one is the hardware Reliant. So, interesting thing about this one is, of course, if you're familiar with Emerson knives, they all kind of look the same. So like this one is the mini CQC7. But the point is that most every Emerson knife has a similar feel, similar work, similar manufacturing process, everything. So everything else is just about design, about blade, certain blade designs, certain handle designs. But they all come, of course, G10 scales, titanium liner lock, 154 cm steel, usually a chisel grind, one-sided. And this is actually one of my favorite EDC carries. But I had a mild issue with it. Recently, I've been going for my CCW with pocket carry. So it meant that my front right pocket has now got a pistol in it, and there was simply no room to stick this or anything like it in that same pocket. It'd be dangerous, be kind of useless. If you're familiar with my other video, one of my favorite knives is the Emerson Karambit in a CDC, CQC, style. So in any event, but I was using this for EDC carry, but I had to switch it over to my back pocket, which meant that it sits like this, clip outside obviously. Between the wave and the thumb disc, there were times when it could actually do that. And then of course you're sticking your hand in there, and I never cut myself, but obviously I was concerned about it. And unlike being in my front pocket, it was now no longer against the seam because it was close to my hip, unless I put it way on the other side, and then it was difficult to get at. So what happened is I went ahead and bought this just on a whim. I was always familiar with it. You can find it on the website, and it always looked a little bigger on the website, a little more robust. It actually is not. It is more of a EDC carry type knife, but it doesn't really have the feel of an Emerson. Just to start off, this is your Emerson box. Well, this is their hardware line box. And of course, the biggest thing is, as we all know, Emerson knives are made in the United States. This is the only line that's actually made in Japan. It's better than made in China, but either way, it's not made in the United States. Biggest thing you'll notice is right off the bat, it's not a liner lock, it's a traditional back lock, and it's pinned. So there's no G10 scales, and they're pinned to the blade itself. There's no metal liners inside that I can tell. Not a big thing. It kind of reminds you of like an early Spyderco Delica, in the sense that unlike most traditional knives, there's not the liners and the G10 or carbon fiber scales. This is just basically a glass-filled nylon, basically a plastic handle, with some give, kind of a rubberized texture, and then just the back lock works itself. Just showing you in comparison. There you go. This almost has, this is a mini by the way, so this almost has similar dimensions to the CQC7 full-sized, except that it's a lot thinner. But the blade length and the overall, it's got the Tonto. This, like I said, this is the Reliant. They actually have a Traveler with a drop point, but this is meant to kind of mimic the CQC 7 with the Tonto blade. It's a very high polished. It's an Aus steel, Japanese Aus steel. But it works for me because when I started moving my knives in my back pocket, I had a concern about sticking my hand with a blade that was up. Well, what was nice is, just like any back lock, there's a spring tension which kind of keeps that knife closed. You would have to bring it all the way out here before it would actually stay open. So that was number one. Number two is because it is thinner and because the handle kind of gives, given that it's a just glass-filled nylon, it fits in the back pocket nice, easy. I hardly know it's there. It's not going to interfere with my pistol that's in my front pocket now, and yet I can still get to it. It still opens nice. The handle feels great. It's got a very pronounced finger choil, yet all three, the remaining three fingers really grip the knife real well. Super sharp blade for Aus, but Aus 8 usually is. So, and it just really works as a nice EDC knife. Opening it, because it is a standard backlock, it's going to require either just a little bit of momentum or just taking the time to just rotate the thumb. But either way, you can open it quickly out of the pocket, easy. It's a standard backlock, so you know that it's real nice and tight. You notice it's got a lot of give before the knife actually opens. So it's really well made. No blade play whatsoever. So it was kind of worth it for me. My only problem is, well, it's supposed to be an Emerson, but it just does not feel like one. I like it, but it just doesn't feel like a true Emerson. It does feel a little bit outdated. Like I said, kind of reminds you of like the Spyderco Delica when they first came out. So you don't get a lot of the things that you're used to now. But, you know, it works. And the only other thing I found is, yeah, the quality is there, but it is a little expensive. Off the website, it's going to be $89 plus shipping. That's not cheap, but I guess to me it's worth it. But yeah, it's not quite an Emerson. But in any event, check it out. I kind of like it, and it really works for me. And so that's all I got. God bless you and those you love.